Charlie inspired millions, and tonight, all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we'll be looking at some of the most notable celebrity responses to the tragic passing of conservative commentator, activist, and founder of Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk.
Our condolences go out to his family and all of his loved ones.
Jimmy Kimmel.
Jimmy Kimmel also spoke out on social media.
Late-night talk show host Jimmy Kimmel reacted online by calling Charlie Kirk's death senseless and asked Americans to resist turning the tragedy into partisan fuel. Jimmy wrote, "Instead of the angry finger-pointing, can we just for one day agree that it is horrible and monstrous to shoot another human?" Known for his satirical take on politics and biting Republican takedowns, Kimmel shifted gears to deliver a serious and emotional plea. His message called for unity and respect in the wake of violence, steering clear of blame.
On behalf of my family, we send love to the Kirks and to all the children, parents, and innocents who fall victim to senseless gun violence.
By putting aside partisanship, Kimmel's reaction showed how Kirk's killing has cut across ideological lines. Savannah Chrisley.
Savannah Chrisley also posted a tearful video on TikTok expressing her grief.
I've met so many great people and lifelong friends, and one of those people that brought me into their world was Charlie Kirk.
Reality TV star Savannah Chrisley was visibly shaken as she posted a tearful video on TikTok after the news broke, calling Kirk a lifelong friend who supported her through some of the hardest years of her life. Chrisley revealed that she was supposed to be standing alongside him throughout his October American comeback tour, but instead found herself with a broken heart, devastated beyond words.
This is tough. Pray for Charlie. Pray for his parents, his children, his entire family.
She said Kirk saw potential in her and her family when few others did. She concluded by sending love to his wife Erica and their children, further proclaiming that heaven has gained a warrior.
Erica, my heart is with you.
Rob Schneider.
The only benefit that we have here to come here today is to talk to people like yourself because we love our country.
Comedian and actor Rob Schneider, known for his work on Saturday Night Live and films like Deuce Bigalow, reacted on X with a tribute to Charlie Kirk rooted in faith. He called Kirk our dear friend and brother in Christ, American patriot, father, husband, and son. The independent-turned-conservative supporter went on to quote Deuteronomy. By emphasizing Kirk's personal roles as husband and father, Schneider reminded followers of the family left behind. His words conveyed both personal friendship and spiritual brotherhood, turning the tragedy into a shared loss within his faith community.
We're always going to look out for every
I was
Arizona.
trying to find common ground, man.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. Actor and politician Arnold Schwarzenegger struck a more reflective and stern tone, calling Kirk's death a horrible tragedy, while also warning that politics has become a disease in America. His reaction wasn't just condolences, it was a warning. Posting on X, Schwarzenegger urged Americans to walk back from the extremes and rediscover decency. The former California governor argued that society must cure its polarization before more lives are lost. By framing Kirk's killing not as an isolated act, but as part of a dangerous pattern, the action star urged people to rediscover decency and humanity, saying solutions lie within individuals choosing unity over division.
Choose life. Conquer your mind.
Jillian Michaels.
This is a guy that was willing to engage in debate to resolve disagreements.
Fitness expert Jillian Michaels honored Charlie Kirk by remembering him as a significant figure who welcomed dialogue with those who held opposing views. Michaels shared on X, Charlie Kirk was a father, a husband, and a cultural force who encouraged debate, even with those who disagreed. She recalled appearing on his podcast and praised his openness, adding that her young son once took 3 flights just to meet him. Michael's reaction combined sorrow with admiration, portraying Kirk as both approachable and impactful. She also lamented the hatred seeping into culture and urged followers not to let it grow.
I'm not going to point fingers. I'm not going to make this about any red, blue. I don't want to be divisive here, but this is disgusting.
Chris Pratt.
And when news of the shooting broke, actor Chris Pratt took to X to say he had the 31-year-old in his thoughts.
Prominent Hollywood star Chris Pratt turned to X to share that he had Kirk's family in his heart and mind following the tragic incident. By calling on God's grace, Pratt tapped into spiritual themes many others echoed. Pratt's words highlighted empathy and grief for the family Kirk left behind. The Guardians of the Galaxy star has largely kept his political views deliberately vague, avoiding direct labels or party affiliations. However, his marriage to Katherine Schwarzenegger and the family's deep ties to both Republican politics and faith-based communities has placed him in proximity to figures like Charlie Kirk.
We need God's grace. God help us.
Megyn Kelly.
You know,
None of us knows how long we have. You lose friends, you lose family. It happens in slow, gradual ways, and it can happen suddenly and in horrific ways.
Megyn Kelly broke the news of Charlie Kirk's death live on The Megyn Kelly Show, and her emotional reaction left viewers stunned. Kelly shared that the news had been confirmed by Turning Point USA's leadership, making it official in real time. Fighting back tears alongside guest Glenn Beck, she compared the loss to JFK's assassination, emphasizing how seismic the moment felt for the conservative movement. She mourned not only a colleague in the media, but also a man she described as a pivotal voice for America's youth.
What he did in 31 years so far surpasses what most people accomplish in a full and lengthy lifetime, something about which his family can be very proud.
Her heartfelt, raw response captured the deep grief of a community losing one of its most prominent figures. Tim Tebow. Former NFL quarterback Tim Tebow posted on X that he and his wife were shocked and devastated, lifting Kirk's family up in prayer. He remembered Kirk first as a follower of Jesus, then as a husband and father, highlighting his identity beyond politics. Tebow praised Kirk's passion, courage, and devotion to making an eternal impact. Known more for his outspoken spirituality than political commentary in recent years, Tebow's tribute showed how Charlie's influence reached well beyond the political realm and into communities of faith and even sports. Tebow also posted, "Evil is real. There is no doubt the enemy is hard at work," but added, "It will not have the final word." Stephen Colbert.
Good evening, everybody. After our scripts for tonight's show were finished this afternoon, we here at The Late Show learned that Charlie Kirk, a prominent right-wing activist, was killed at a speaking engagement in Utah.
On the September 10th, 2025 episode of The Late Show, taped shortly after Charlie Kirk's death, host Stephen Colbert opened by acknowledging the somber news, a development his staff had only recently learned about.
I'm old enough to personally remember the political violence of the 1960s. And I hope it is obvious to everyone in America that political violence does not solve any of our political differences.
Colbert stressed that political violence only leads to more political violence. He further urged Americans to resist the dangerous cycle of hate and retaliation. His tone was earnest, reflective, and urgent, using his platform to call for restraint. Many saw Colbert's reaction as notable because, like fellow late-night host Jimmy Kimmel, it too came from a comedian often critical of conservatives, making his call for reflection all the more significant.
And I pray with all my heart that this is the aberrant action of a madman and not a sign of things to come.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Donald Trump.
To my great fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah.
President Donald Trump responded to Charlie Kirk's death with a somber video message and posts on Truth Social, calling it a dark moment for America. He went on to say he was filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination. He described Kirk as someone who inspired millions and framed him as a martyr for truth and freedom.
It's a long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagree day after day, year after year, in the most hateful and despicable way possible.
He announced U.S. flags will be flown at half-staff in Kirk's honor and vowed to hold accountable those who, in his words, contributed to the climate of violence. On the morning of September 11, 2025, the president pledged that he would award Charlie the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Tonight, I ask all Americans to commit themselves to the American values for which Charlie Kirk lived and died, the values of free speech, citizenship, the rule of law, and the patriotic devotion and love of God.
Which reaction resonated most with you? Share your thoughts in the comments below.
This is a dark moment for America.